Jacques Derrida and Jerzy Grotowski meet at the George Wood Theatre at Goldsmiths, University of London, for a seminal debate on performing Animal.
I often ask myself, just to see who I am and who I am following, at the moment when caught naked in silence by the gaze of an animal, for example, the eyes of a cat, I have trouble, yes. J'ai du mal overcoming my embarrassment. There is something which looks, which watches. There is a quality of vigilance. In the Gospels, it is said again and again, stay awake. Stay awake. Look what is happening. Look after you. Ashamed of what? And naked before whom? Ashamed of what and before whom? Nudity, about which it is believed that it is proper to man, that is to say, foreign to animals, naked as they are, or so it is thought, without the slightest inkling of being so. That's it, the true question. Are you man? You have an image of this in the Gospel. Man would be the only one to have invented a garment to cover his sex. He would only be man to the extent that he was able to be naked, that is to say, to be ashamed. And to know himself to be ashamed because he is no longer naked. And knowing himself would mean knowing himself to be ashamed. This means that it is necessary to keep our quality of man, człowiek, which in several traditional languages is linked to the vertical axis. To stand. In order to say man, you say that which stands up. I see myself seen naked under the gaze of a cat. Stay awake. Stay awake. It's your animal. It belongs to you. No, it's a real cat, believe me. A little cat, not the figure of a cat, not Montaigne's cat, not Alice's cat. No, my cat. My cat. The cat that looks at me in my bedroom or in the bathroom. This does not appear here. Maybe not my cat or my pussy cat, but does not appear here as a representative. It's your animal. It belongs to you. But it is the question of man which needs to be resolved. See what is happening? The animal is there before me. There, close to me. There, in front of me. It can look at me. The real abyss opens up. A gaze that is vacant to the extent of being bottomless. At the same time innocent and cruel perhaps sensitive and impassive, good and bad, uninterpretable, unreadable, undecidable, abyssal, and secret. The real abyss opens up. We are then, at the same time, face to the archaic and the conscious. The two extremities of the same register, two different poles, that of instinct and that of consciousness. All of your original nature present now, here, with all of its aspects, animal and divine, instinctual, passionate, from different places and in different registers, namely the passion of the animal, my passion of the animal, my passion of the animal other. Do not improvise, please. Normally, Our everyday tepidity causes that we are between the two. We are neither fully animal nor fully human. One is moved confusedly between the two, like a dilettante. But in the true traditional techniques, in the true performing arts, one holds these two poles at the same time. We have in our body an ancient body, a reptile body, one can say. But that is not the essential. The essential is that there exists a certain position, a primary position of the human body. It's a position so ancient that maybe it was that not only of Homo sapiens, but of Homo erectus. To be in the beginning. To be standing in the beginning. I will do all I can to prevent its being presented as a primal scene. This deranged theatrics. Nudity is nothing other than passivity. This involuntary exhibition of the self. Block all these practices. We should begin by eliminating all of those banalities, plus several others. Before pursuing things in that direction, let me confide in you a hypothesis. A hypothesis that crossed my mind the first time my gaze met that of a cat. The pussy cat seemed to be imploring me, begging me, asking me to open the door so that it can go out. As she often does, she comes into the bathroom, follows me, and then immediately regrets her decision. Contact is not possible if you are not capable of refusing contact. Hypothesis. One can only find two types of discourse. Those texts signed by people who have no doubt seen, observed, analyzed, reflected on the animal, but who have never been seen by the animal. As for the other category of discourse, found first and foremost amongst poets and prophets. Did you look for others? Did it happen in the mountains? Those men and women who admit taking it upon themselves to the address of an animal that addresses them, before even having the time or the power to take themselves off with clothes off, or in a bathrobe perhaps. I have found no such representative. But it is in that very place that I find myself, here and now, in the process of searching. If you are capable of going with this towards the beginning, God commands man, woman to command the animals. After a certain serpent comes by, they perceive themselves to be naked and not without shame. Reptile brain or reptile body, it is your animal. It is the vigilant awareness that makes man. I have never believed in some homogeneous continuity between what calls itself a man and what it calls the animal. I'm not about to do so now. The animal that therefore I am. I will do all I can to prevent its being presented as some sort of primal scene. I don't look anymore for contact with you. I look rather to utilize the common space in such a way that each one can proceed separately, without disturbing the other. For so long now, it is as if the cat had been recalling itself, reminding me of the awful tale of Genesis without breathing a word. Who was born first, before the names? Which one saw the other come into this place so long ago? Finally, you will discover that you also come from somewhere. As they say in a French expression, tu es le fils de quelqu'un. You are somebody's son. We have an image of this in the Gospel.